What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys, and today I want to provide a little bit of detail about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot for those of you who may be new, just now hearing about the game, who haven't seen the live stream that we did with the Q&A, and who's just wanting to get more information before release to find out, is this the game that I want to pre-order? So, without further ado, let's go. All right, guys. So, a little bit different for those of y'all who have been around for a while. Y'all kind of understand about the game. We've been talking about the game since it was very first announced as Dragon Ball Game Project Z back January 16th of 2019 of this year. So within a couple of days, couple of weeks, actually, the game is finally going to come out. But there's still a lot of people out there who's still on the fence about this game. I still get questions on Twitter. I get questions in the comment section. So I wanted to do a more updated version or a pre-release review of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So for starters, the game is an action RPG. And so for those of y'all who don't know what an action RPG is, you're basically seeing it on the screen. It's an RPG game. However, it's action oriented. Therefore, there's no turn-based style in battle as you're going to see Goku go into battle here. It's not turn-based. I mean, you're just fighting out there in the semi-open world. And I mean, it is what it is. It's a great style of play. If you're into RPGs, you're going to like it because it's true to RPG elements, unlike games like Xenoverse that has RPG elements, but in its core is a fighting game. The developer for the game is CyberConnect 2. If you don't know who they are the same ones who've made the Naruto series, the Dot Hack series, as well as Asura's Wrath. They're a very reputable, very credible development company, and this is their first taking on a Dragon Ball Z game, Dragon Ball base game, and as you can tell, it looks phenomenal. Producer is Bandai Namco. So, what story does Dragon Ball Z Kakarot tell? Well, the name kind of gives that away. It's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And if you don't know who Kakarot is, that's Goku. That's his Saiyan name. He's a Saiyan who came down to Earth and pretty much changed the world. So the story is going to follow the Z story for the most part. There are some throwbacks to Dragon Ball. There's also some movie references in the game in a sense, but for the most part, the game is telling the story of Z from the beginning of the Saiyan saga against Raditz all the way to the end of the Buu saga fighting Majin Buu. There will also be subquests in the game that will explore unexplored lore in the Dragon Ball franchise. This is backed by the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama himself. Next is gameplay. So there's a lot of gameplay elements in the game, some of which are subquests, training, eating, you have fishing, collectibles, community board, you have original content for the game, you also have DLC planned for the game, and you can even fight dinosaurs. And this is essentially what makes up the game in its entirety, but all these things are very intricate in and of themselves. For starters, the subquests. The subquests consist of you doing different tasks for characters in the Dragon Ball Z universe. And upon completing those, you're awarded different things like Z Orbs, Zeni, you may get D medals, you may get gifts to give other characters in the community board section, as well as soul emblems, which we'll cover that when I go over the community board section. And then next is training. You can't have a Dragon Ball game without training. However, the difference between Dragon Ball Z Kakarot training and previous Dragon Ball game training is that training in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is actually beneficial. And this is super awesome because when you look at the most recent titles for Dragon Ball Z games or Dragon Ball games, like Xenoverse, like Dragon Ball Fighters, even back in the Budokai series, training was simply just a mode for you to practice your skill set and abilities and things of that nature. However, now training is actually beneficial. So you use training to level up your super attacks and to unlock other super attacks. There's even another training mode in the game that we have yet to get details about, that we have only speculated about, and that's the training room. So eating, that's another part of the gameplay that is really, really important. Everybody knows that anime characters love to eat, and the food in anime games look fantastic. Goku is no different. Goku loves to eat. He loves to train, and he loves to eat. And this game does it so well. Goku is able to eat, and when you're eating, it also levels up your stats permanent. So you get permanent boosts from eating, but you also get temporary effects from eating as well. Now, there is no mechanism in the game that you would see in some hardcore titles that would require you to eat, otherwise you'll die or something to that effect. It's not in the game, but to get the most out of Goku and the other characters in the game, then eating is a necessity. And speaking of other characters, there's a list of playable characters as well as support characters. For the support characters, as of now, you have Tien, Yamcha, you have Krillin, and you have Chaozu. I almost forgot his name. Those are the support characters. Of the playable characters at this point in time, you have Piccolo, you have Gohan, Goku, you have Vegeta, you have Teen Trunks, and then also Vegito and Gotenks are also playable characters. Now, there may be some released later on. There is rumor, or not rumor, it has been stated that after completion of the game, Goten and Kid Trunks become support characters as well as Android 18. So it's definitely something to look forward to in the game. Now, another thing that you can do in the game is actually fishing, and fishing is fun. I mean, you have to gather food, which is part of the game, and there's very different ways. You can hunt dinosaurs, you can fish, which Goku and Gohan are able to use their Saiyan tails. Yes, we know that Goku doesn't have a Saiyan tail, but there's actually a subquest that explains and gives you the tail that Goku uses in battle, which is really cool. You can gather fruit from trees. You can also hunt animals in the wild. All that to gain food for Chi-Chi, your wife, to prepare meals, or for you to prepare them at campfires yourself. Collectibles. Collectibles is always a staple of RPGs, and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot isn't any different. What is the main collectible in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? The Dragon Balls, of course. Exactly what do the Dragon Balls do? Well, they've given us one hint as to what the Dragon Balls can do, and that is revive enemies that you have defeated, and they'll come back more powerful. And upon defeating them in special subquests that also include special dialogue for reviving them, you get a soul emblem for the enemies that you can use in the community board as well. Speaking of community board, that's the next thing up in the gameplay topic of today's discussion. The community board is another step in leveling up your character. So you have a various amounts of different communities in the game. For example, Goku is the head of the Z Warriors community. Chi-Chi is the head of the eating committee, as to say. King Kai is the head of the training committee. You have Kame and Mr. Popo, head of the gods community, and so on and so forth. Boma is the head of the research and development committee. Master Roshi and his sister Baba is the head of the adult community. And then Yajirobe, if I'm not mistaken, is the head of the treasure hunt map community. And all of these different things, each community has their specialties, and you get bonuses for each ones according to who's in that community and their relationships with each other. So when you put training, eating, the community board, as well as the battles together in this game, you have the potential to create extremely powerful characters. And that's the beauty of this game, because it's not it's not a MMO RPG. It's not there is no multiplayer in the game. It's a completely single player game. The reason they went that direction in making this game single player is because they wanted to get rid of balancing and make a true to life Dragon Ball game. Because let's be real, you play Xenoverse and you play Fighters, there's no reason why Krillin or Yamcha should be beating Super Saiyan 3 Goku. There's no way. And this game makes you live that. The bosses all have special mechanics in their fights, and this makes the fights unique. With the game not having balancing, they're able to create disadvantageous situations that normally would not be possible in the game. And this is very interesting for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and we can't wait to get our hands on it and experience this as well. Now, on to graphics. CyberConnect 2 has an interesting style of of making games, and that's with the shell shade technology. They're able to get these vibrant colors and these darker shades and things like that in the game. It's not so much the realistic graphics that you would see in some AAA titles such as Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty. The cell shaded graphic style goes great with anime games, and if you look back at the Naruto games and things like that, then you get to see just how amazing this game looks. We're looking at gameplay of Piccolo right now, and if the video lends its credit to get to that part, then you'll see just how vibrant the game looks even in nighttime scenes. The art style is reflective of Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama's art style, and it looks phenomenal. It's almost like watching an episode of the anime play out. And that is the goal for this game. They want you to live in the Dragon Ball Z universe. They don't want you to just pick up the game and play through it linear. The game is not designed that way. And that's the reason why they went with an action RPG, is to create a sense of living in the anime, being Goku, becoming who he is, learning who he is, and living the game. And that is phenomenal. Now, as far as sound and music go in the game is going to have the original anime soundtracks in it by Kikuchi. If I'm pronouncing that name wrong, I apologize, guys, but that's who's the music score in this game. Now, a lot of people, or some people that grew up in the 90s watching Dragon Ball Z with the Bruce Falconer score, did want his score in the game, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to be able to see that. Now, what about the game's longevity? Because we know on the surface, all of this sounds amazing, but it does no good if after you beat the game, there's nothing left. Well, guys, I got some great news for you. At the end of the game, after beating the main story, you're still going to be able to do side quests. As a matter of fact, there's going to be more side quests to open up. There's going to be tougher enemies to defeat, and the game already has a season pass DLC plan mapped out for it with 2 new original episodes as well as a new story arc, and no telling what else down the road. All in all, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has placed itself in the upper echelon of Dragon Ball games and is shaping up to be one of the greatest Dragon Ball games of all time. There are various different editions that you can have. You can have the standard edition, which comes just with the base game. You can have the deluxe edition, which comes with the base game, as well as all of them come with the pre-order incentive. So you have the base game, you also get the season pass and a food item, a deluxe food item. The ultimate edition comes with the base game, the season pass, an ultimate food item. It comes with 11 additional anime songs in the pack, as well as the Tao Pai Pa log. And then there's the collector's edition, which for the Americas in the United States, unfortunately does not come with the season pass. However, it still comes with the beautiful steelbook case. It also comes with the art book for the game and a diorama for the game as well. And guys, all in all, they're very great additions, and I like that we have those kinds of options so you can kind of pick to what you want according to your budget and your taste. So the big question is, should I pre-order Dragon Ball Z Kakarot? Is this a game that I'm going to get? In my personal opinion, if you are a Dragon Ball fan, it is an absolute yes that you get this game, because we don't know when we could ever get another game that will be this great. CyberConnect 2 has really outdone themselves. Now, if you have more questions or you want to see more information about this game, then check out our playlist entitled Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, where we have over 270 videos dating from January 16th of 2019 till today, full of information, jam-packed information, great content, great discussions that will give you all the information necessary for you to make that critical decision on whether or not to get the game. Also, guys, if you are still on the fence and you want to see the game, then check out the live stream here, our release date live stream, which will be January 17th, 2020 at 12:01 a.m. But really it'll be more like the 16th, but I'll let you know upon a closer date. So definitely want to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on all bell icon notifications so you don't miss a single upload. I hope that this video has been informative to you, and I hope that it has helped you on your journey to Dragon Ball greatness. Till next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Peace.